officially court now. This is 2019-791-800 in the interest of Khailynn Nunley, a child. This is a final hearing on adoption. Ms. Dickerson, who do you have here today?
Your Honor, we have Rusty and Whitney Smith, who have filed their original petition for adoption. They are holding Khailynn. And we have a host of family, friends, and relatives across the entire universe who are joining us today. We are all pioneers today in terms of what we are doing, and it's really kind of exciting. So we are present and ready, Your Honor.
Excellent. And the department is here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you want to state your name for the record?
Yes, Margaret Allen.
All right, very good. And Ms. Gamboa?
It's Maritza Gamboa, attorney ad litem for the child.
All right, very good. Ms. Dickerson, who's going to testify today?
Rusty is going to answer my questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Ms. Dickerson, go ahead.
Thank you. Rusty, you and your wife, Whitney, have filed an original petition for adoption. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the beautiful little girl that your wife is holding and you all are wearing identical t-shirts that we'll talk about in a minute was born as Khailynn Grace Nicole Nunley. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And she was born here in Lubbock, Texas on December the 26th of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
So she is now a whopping 2-year-old. Is that true?
Close. 15 months.
I'm sorry, 15, never mind, I was jumping ahead. We're not in the terrible twos yet. 15 months.
We're close.
You're close. Is it true that as a result of state involvement in her life, that the Department of Family and Protective Services is her current managing conservator?
Yes.
And is it true that Margaret Allen is here with us today as the representative of the agency?
Yes.
And is it true that the agency has consented to this adoption and waived service?
Yes.
Do we also have here with us today Margaret Allen, who is a representative of CPS?
Yes.
Is it true that Khailynn has lived with you longer than 6 months?
Yes.
Is it also true that you have done everything in preparation for this adoption that is required by this court, the agency, and the state of Texas?
Yes.
Have you also participated in what's known as an investigative report that has looked into you and your wife's suitability to parent this little girl through adulthood?
Yes.
And is it your understanding that the recommendation that is filed with this court is that the court should consider granting this?
Yes.
Have we discussed that should this court grant this adoption today, that would instill in you and your wife all of the rights, duties, and responsibilities afforded to all parents in the state of Texas?
Yes.
And you understand that would also instill in you the privilege and the honor of raising this little girl?
Yes.
I like the smile. Is it true? Is it true that we have discussed that part of those rights, duties, and responsibilities include providing her with a loving, nurturing, stable home?
Yes.
And do you commit to her and to everyone who has worked so hard on this case, and to the court, and to your village who are sharing this experience with you, that you are going to educate her, protect her, provide her with her necessities?
Yes.
Do you also commit that you'll be there when times are wonderful and she has achievements and she learns how to use that cell phone she's hanging on to right now, that you'll be with her to celebrate and rejoice in those?
Yes.
And do you also commit that when times get bad and you have to say no and you have to take the cell phone away from her, whether it's today or when she's 16 years old, that you'll be there to help her through those rough times?
Yes, I will.
Now, before we talk about her name change, could you share with us, I know you all have identical shirts, what your shirts say? We can see part of it, but not all of it.
Okay, Okay, so it says, I stole their hearts, now I'm stealing their last name, and it has Smith at the bottom. And then on all the back of the shirts, I don't know if you can see the back, but mine has, I don't know, can you see the back? Look,
There we go.
so on the back of all of them, it has everybody's name. So, or what they're called, like Grammy and Papa and Gam and cousin and auntie. I mean, we've got, and these are just here. We've got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people here, but there's many more that order shirts. So I don't know how many shirts did we have, 23 shirts in all. So yeah, yes, we.
Well, and thank you for that, and that just ties in beautifully. We'll do her name in just a minute. But also, I know you've mentioned your family and your village, that, you know, it takes a village to raise children. Can you just share generally, those who are watching on YouTube, because this is such a new experience for all of us?
As far as everybody that's been involved through this whole process, we started back in, started the foster to adopt program in October of 2018, and it's taken us this long to get adopted, and we're just grateful for everybody that has been there for us throughout all the prayers. We've had three other children before this, and we all thought we were going to get to adopt, so broke our heart. Yes, that's Papa in the background. He'll tell you exactly how it was, but we're grateful that we made it this far, and luckily we're still able to keep in contact with the other families somewhat. So that's a blessing, and we're just grateful that everybody on here. There's a lot that couldn't be here. I mean, had this this terrible virus not come about, your courtroom would probably be 40 or 50 full. I'm serious. Just wearing all the same shirts, so we're just grateful.
Well, Rusty,
You can let her go. She doesn't have to stay in the screen. If you need to let her go, you can.
so Rusty, we're close. Let's get even closer, okay?
Okay.
So the last question I'm going to ask you is, you are asking the court today to consider changing Khaylynn's name to Khailynn Ray Smith. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so she is going to have part of her heritage and part of her future wrapped up in that name. Do you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And so we are asking the court to make your T-shirts official at this point in time, so the names are accurate, and to grant this adoption. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, we would rest and close.
All right, Ms. Gamboa.
Rusty, it's just a few questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you've had her in your care since April, right? April 8th was the first time you laid eyes on her?
Yes, we had her for respite then, and then we were able to get her in July, but we started respite in April.
Okay.
Off and on.
Right, and then off and on, and then so since the summer, you've had her in your care the whole time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and okay, you think this is the best interest for her, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I have nothing further, Judge.
Department?
Yes, Your Honor, we're in favor of the adoption and we're excited for them.
Okay, very good. Well, I do find that this court has jurisdiction over this case, and this child is eligible for adoption, all parental rights having been previously terminated. I do further find that the required health, social, education, genetic history reports, criminal background checks, home studies, all those things are on file with the court as they are required to be. I do find that it's in the best interest of this child for me to grant the adoption. I'm going to grant the adoption and change Khaylynn's name from Khailynn Nunley to Khailynn Ray Smith. I even got my gavel. It is official. Very good. I wish we could take pictures. If you want to do pictures for the photo album later, we can recreate them after the pandemic is over.
Yes,
Just contact the court. We'll come and do the photos anytime you want in the courtroom.
Awesome. Thank you, Judge.
All right. If there's nothing else, then we are adjourned. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.